Gather close by the flickering fire, where shadows dance and whispers conspire. It's time for a tale of dread and delight, where fear takes flight in the heart of the night. It was a quiet evening shift at the dollar store, just like any other. Suddenly, I heard the cash register open and close by itself. My heart raced as I looked around, finding no one. Then, the receipts started printing messages, warnings for me to leave. "Get out!" they screamed in bold letters. I felt a cold shiver down my spine. Curiosity got the best of me. I asked around and learned about the previous cashier. He had mysteriously disappeared, leaving only a blood-stained register behind. As nights passed, I experienced chilling cold spots. Whispers echoed my name through the aisles, sending waves of fear throughout my body. I started seeing visions. The previous cashier, his face twisted in terror. His fate played out like a horror movie in my mind. The store owner finally confessed. The register was possessed. It demanded a soul every year. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. A deep sense of dread settled in. Would I be the next victim? I needed to find a way to break this curse before it claimed me. I spent hours researching, looking for answers. Desperation grew as each night brought more terrifying encounters. One night, the whispers grew louder, almost unbearable. The register opened and closed with violent force, as if it was taunting me. I knew I had to act quickly. I found an old ritual, one that promised to end the curse. Gathered everything I needed. With trembling hands, I performed the ritual. The air grew thick, the register rattling violently. Then, a sudden silence. The curse was broken, but the memory lingers. Every time I pass that store, I can't help but remember those nights. I survived, but the fear still haunts me. As one tale ends and silence reigns, let whispers rise and stoke the flames. In the heart of night, where shadows gleam, another story begins, its eerie dream.
Every night, as the clock struck closing time, I noticed a peculiar customer at the dollar store. Like a dark shadow draped in a hood, their face always obscured. They never bought a thing. The stranger just wandered the aisles, silent and eerie, an unsettling presence that grew more disturbing with each passing night. One fateful evening, after the store had closed, I found the hooded figure still inside. The air was thick with suspense as I approached them. Heart pounding, I called out, demanding to know who they were. But then, in the blink of an eye, they vanished into thin air. Shaken, I delved into the store's history, uncovering a chilling tale. Years ago, a thief had perished in a fire while trying to rob the place. This ghostly figure, it seemed, was the trapped spirit of that ill-fated thief, doomed to relive their final moments, night after night. The encounters grew more terrifying with each passing day. The ghost's anger seemed to turn towards me, its rage palpable. Doors would slam, aisles would echo with unseen footsteps, and whispers would haunt me from the shadows. I knew I had to find a way to break this horrifying cycle. The ghost's wrath was growing, and time was running out. Desperation led me to research ways to communicate with the spirit, to understand its torment, and find a way to release it. With each passing night, the ghost's fury intensified. My fear grew, knowing that failure meant becoming its next victim. In a final attempt, I confronted the ghost, pleading for peace. The store fell silent, and for the first time, I felt a glimmer of hope.
In the heart of night, where shadows gleam, another story begins, its eerie dream. When I stumbled upon an antique mirror at a dollar store, it felt like finding treasure. Little did I know, it was a cursed relic waiting to ensnare me. At first, it was the subtle oddities. My reflection would smile back at me, even when my own face was still. Chills raced down my spine, but I dismissed it. Then, my reflection began to move independently, performing actions I wasn't. It scratched its cheek, winked, and even turned away while I stood frozen. As nights grew longer, voices called from the mirror, whispering my name. Shadows danced within its glass, their movements mocking my fear. I researched its origins and uncovered a chilling truth. The mirror trapped the souls of those who died before it. Their anguished cries echoed in my mind. Desperate, I tried to destroy it. I shattered it into countless pieces, only to find it whole again the next morning, taunting me with its sinister presence. The more I fought against it, the more its grip tightened. My sanity began to slip, replaced by an overwhelming sense of dread and paranoia. I could feel the cursed souls pulling at me, their despair seeping into my very being. I was becoming one of them, a prisoner within my own home. My reflection's malevolent grin grew wider each day, as if savoring my torment. It knew I was powerless to escape its grasp. Sleep became a distant memory. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt the mirror's pull, dragging me closer to an unfathomable abyss. Friends and family noticed the change in me, but their concern only deepened my isolation. How could I explain the horrors lurking within my mirror? Now, as I stare into the glass, I see my fate sealed. The cursed souls claim another victim, and I am powerless to stop it. The mirror's legacy continues. As the embers fade and shadows grow, the night's secrets we now bestow. Until next time, when darkness claims, we'll gather again beside fiery flames.